Oh, I'm really debating the value of, you all listening to my neighbor practice trumpet. Because then at least I could have my window open while I tried to film this, and it's 100 degrees. Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am here to talk about the books that I'm planning to read in the month of May. It's been a minute since I did a TBR. Hi y'all, I do still read every now and then. I'm working on it. So today is going to be a very open-ended TBR. There are a couple of books I'd like to read, but if we get to the end of the month and I've read one book, we're going to call it a huge win. In case you don't know, May is Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and to honor that, I am only reading books by Asian and Pacific Islander authors in May. If you want to take a look, actually, the shelf behind me, I'll show you in a sec, is full of all of the books that I own that I haven't read by Asian authors. So that is kind of working as a mood reading port. If I'm feeling like it's time for me to read, I can go to that shelf and I can just pick any book that's on it by an Asian author. So the shelf is currently missing the books that I'm going to talk about in this video, but this is what it looks like. It does not want to focus. There you go. Those are the books by Asian authors that I haven't read yet. So I am tentatively participating in the Asian Readathon, which is a readathon created by Cindy. I will leave all of the information linked down in the description below. There is the readathon. There is also an optional read-along and watch-along. I do have the book for that read-along, watch-along, I just don't know if I'm going to be getting to it in May. But I did want to take this moment to shout out my patrons, as I have been struggling through this time in terms of motivation and ability to create. My patrons have been absolutely necessary to me. So thank you so much if you were one of my patrons, if you've been able to be a patron of mine. I appreciate it more than words can possibly say. But I wanted to give a particular shout out to my librarian patrons, who are my patrons at the highest level. Those librarian patrons being Alyssa, Sierra, Christine, Kim, Kirsten, Rebecca, Rox, and Ursula. Thank you all so much for what you do for my channel. And in honor of shouting out some patrons, let's start out this TBR by talking about my patron-chosen book for the month of May. So in May, I was having my patrons choose between 4 underhyped queer books by Asian authors. So I had 4 options, and the book that they wound up choosing was Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chipeko. This is a book that came out in the beginning of March, I think on March 3rd. Yeah, it was part of my March 3rd possible reading vlog. Rin Chipeko is a Chinese-Filipino author, and all of the main characters in this book are Filipino, I believe. So this is about the kingdom of Avalon, which was left enclosed in ice by the Snow Queen. The Prince Alexei and his subjects escaped, and they wound up in a world that is totally devoid of magic, aka they are now residing in Arizona. No one in this town in Arizona knows who they are, except for Prince Alex's best friend Tala, who has some secrets of her own. But when they get word that possibly they can retake their kingdom, Alex, Tala, and a group of other people work together to try to take back Avalon. This has a gaming character, like I said, a mostly, if not entirely, Filipino cast. I have really wanted to read Rin Chipeko's work, so I'm excited to read this. I also wanted to shout out some Asian creators. One of the challenges for the Asian Readathon is to read a book recommended by an Asian creator. 3 of the books that I'm talking about, of the 4 in this video, were recommended by Asian people in our community, so I wanted to shout them out. Wicked As You Wish has been getting a little bit of hype, but the person who has been hyping it for me is Romy. Her channel is Books and Coffee with Romy, and I have been following her on Instagram for ages. I follow her on BookTube, and she recently read Wicked As You Wish and absolutely loved it, which gave me just like that extra hype to get excited about reading this book. I definitely want to read a bunch of Rin Chipeko's other books, namely like The Bone Witch has been getting all the hype, but also The Never Tilting World is FF, and like Frozen meets Mad Max. Fuck yes. Very excited for this one. I also heard amazing things about this book, Saints and Misfits by S.K. Ali from Romy. So, like, I have been really hype about this book. I own this. I also own Love from A to Z, although my sister has it. I'm going to be driving home so that I can, like, watch my mother get married, and then I'll be driving back. Maybe I'll get Love from A to Z from my sister as well, so I can read it. I know that this has a very bright and cheery cover, but actually covers some very deep and possibly triggering stuff. So this follows a Muslim Egyptian Indian main character. So one of the main things that this is covering is our main character, whose name is Jana. And she is a hijabi Muslim, and none of the rest of the members of her family are, so this is very much dealing with what it means to be, like, different types of Muslim, about this main character and how she fits in with her family. There are also some trigger warnings on this book for potential sexual assault and that situation occurring with the main character. I am sure I'm going to love this. It has been receiving rave reviews for a number of years, and hopefully I'll read it. Hopefully. Oh, also I forgot to mention my short story collection. So I'm trying to read a short story collection every single month in 2020. I missed April. Maybe I'll make up for it later. But the book, or the short story collection I'm planning to read for May, is The Bridegroom by Ha Jin. This is a short story collection that is set during a really pivotal shift in Chinese culture. It's set during this moment where China is starting to feel more and more the influence of the West, while they are also being extremely heavily controlled by the government. This is an older book. I think this was from like 2001. Maybe even 2000. 2000. It's from 2000. I have read the first 2 stories in the collection, and I'm really liking it so far. I think it's painting a very interesting picture of a time period that I don't know a lot about when it comes to China, so hopefully I will continue to get through this, and this can be my short story collection for May. I also would really, really love to get to The Love and Lies of Roxana Ali by Sabina Khan. This is going to be my main book for the Asian Readathon. A number of books that I'm reading would count for that, but ultimately I'm pinning everything on this. So let me run you through the Asian Readathon challenges. So the first challenge is to read a book by an Asian author. If I finish any book this month, I will have accomplished that. There's also read a book with a character you can relate to. The third challenge is to read a book with a character who is different than you. And the fourth challenge is to read a book recommended by an Asian. I already talked about the fact that the books that I'm reading have been recommended by Asian people in our community. That also goes for The Love and Lies of Roxana Ali. Janani from This Story Ain't Over has talked about this and really recommended it. I will also leave her channel linked down in the description below. This story is by an Asian author, a Bangladeshi author to be specific. It is about a character who is different than me. I am a white person. The main character of this book is Bangladeshi. It's also about a character I can relate to because Roxana is a lesbian, as am I. So if I can just read this book, I will have accomplished all of the challenges. So this is about Roxana, who is dealing with the oppressive, extremely conservative Muslim influence of her parents, and then at some point she is caught with her girlfriend, and her parents panic and they send her to spend time with her grandparents in Bangladesh, where she's thrown into this world of tradition and arranged marriage. I have wanted to read this for ages. It was one of my most hyped releases of 2019. It came out January of 2019, and Scholastic sent me this copy of this book, and I haven't gotten the chance to read it yet, but hopefully I will be reading it. And the last book I'm not going to talk about too extensively because I don't know that I'm actually going to get to it. That is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I picked this up because for Asian Readathon, like I said, there is an optional read-along and watch-along. That is to read Little Fires Everywhere and to watch the new Hulu adaptation. So I'm not sure if this will happen in May, but I do want to watch the Little Fires Everywhere show. So I grabbed this, like, literally 2 hours before filming. We were on an emergency grocery run, and I happened to walk past this at Target, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. So I got it right before I filmed. I don't know what this is about. I assume it's about a suburban family. Yes, it is. This is about motherhood and secrets set in a suburb of Cleveland. I'm not sure. I read Everything I Never Told You. Honestly, didn't really love it. It was kind of a middle-of-the-road read for me, but I'm hoping that I can jump into Little Fires Everywhere and I will enjoy it. I think I'll like it. I really would love to like it. So we'll see if I get to this. I am going to leave some stuff linked in the description below. First of all, obviously the announcement for the Asian Readathon that Cindy did, but also I'm going to really recommend that you check out the Google Doc that Cindy started last year and is constantly being edited. It is a huge master list of books by Asian authors that specify different ethnicities and the particular representation in every single book. It is supremely useful. I am so glad that we have it as a resource. It was useful for this video. It was useful in determining some books that I want to read in the future. One of the things that I didn't talk about with the Asian Readathon, but is a huge part of it, is that if you read multiple books for different challenges, every single book should be by an author of a different ethnicity so that you are not focusing all of your reading on a particular localization of Asian identity. It's something that I really tried to keep in mind when I was creating this list. It's something that I would like to work harder at next May, when I will absolutely be participating again. I am continually on the journey of trying to read from as many voices as possible, so that was a part of my consideration in picking these books. Also, I didn't mention the fact that I'm going to be listening to a couple of audiobooks. Like I said, I am driving home to watch my mom get married, so I have 2 audiobooks that are on deck that I'm planning to listen to. Not sure if I'll get to both of them or what the deal is going to be with that. I'm hopefully going to be reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang and The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I've heard great things about both of these. These are both adult books. One is epic fantasy, one is romance. I'll let you know what I think. Other than that, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you for watching. I will try to link some other resources if you are looking for books by Asian authors to support. Definitely check out the description. There will be some more stuff in there. I will list a few Asian booktubers that you can check out. If you are an Asian booktuber, an Asian blogger, then let me know down in the comments. I can add your link to the description so that can continue to be a resource. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!